Hey everybody, Unbiased Jim here, and today we're going to be unboxing the new GSEICE, or GSEICE, however you pronounce this, slushing machine. This is a machine that I just purchased, just received it today. I've been looking at them for quite some time, reading countless reviews, trying to find ones that I could trust, and I feel like most of them I can't trust. I could not find really any user reviews on this particular machine, but so many reviews out there of other machines are either paid, compensated for, and I feel like that they're compromised, and I feel like you can't make a sound judgment, and I've been burned that way before. So today we're going to do a quick unboxing. I'm not going to do a lot of details on this on the unboxing. I don't care for unboxing, but we'll get it out, we'll get it set up, and if I see any weak points, I'll point it out. Strong points, I'll point it out, and then we'll see how this thing functions. Just a little background on me, I do have 11 years experience as a quality assurance administrator for where I work. So every day I'm either rejecting parts, accepting parts, just going over them with a fine-tooth comb. And that's what I'm gonna do with this, because I want people to be informed when they're looking for a machine like this. A true review, someplace that they can go to and they can trust. And that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm not paid for this in any way. I don't have a way to prove it to you other than I am just telling you that I'm not compensated for this in any way. I can show you a receipt where I purchased this off of Amazon. So let's get to it. Stay tuned. A knife here to cut these straps off. I purchased another machine just recently and I ended up returning it because it was packaged so bad, it was damaged, and it looked like it had been used, as there was syrup and everything still in the bottom of the container. Yet it had a sticker on it that said that it was quality passed. I don't know how that made it pass their quality, but anyway. Okay, looks like this one is double boxed, which that's good. When I package things up, I use the term I UPSify them or I FedExify them, because they get thrown around, tossed around, and I want to make sure it gets there in one piece. Looks like this is put together well. Looks like it is packaged well. Packaged a lot better than that other unit that I got. On one side. It's a nice looking machine. Looks like they got plenty of a long cord on it. I thought I was going to have it real close to the plug here. So it looks like it's got probably a, probably 6-7 foot cord. Oh, maybe longer than that. All right. Looks like they've got both of the gaskets in there, the O-rings, and looks like extra O-rings. And oh, okay, that's nice. They actually put in a gasket and O-ring kit. I was wondering about that, if it was going to have. I did reach out to the company via email, and I asked them about parts for this, because what I found out was a lot of these other brands, one starts with a V, you can't find parts for anywhere. So before I made this purchase, I actually reached out to the company ahead of time and asked them if there were parts available for this. And they said, yes, there are. I could order the O-rings and everything. And it looks like they supplied a set of O-rings, the food grade lubricant. Looks like O-rings, the shaft, I'm gonna call it a kind of a silicone bushing, and then the back gaskets. Looks like they sent spares and everything. That's really nice, because I was gonna buy those as soon as I got this machine in. So. These are probably the drain. Yeah. Which, by the way, I've watched so many of these videos, I don't even need to see the instructions to set this up. And I know this goes through here, and that moves right there. That's easy. Looks like tape left a little residue on there, but I'm sure it'll come off. I am here showing off the GSEICE RL3 slushing machine. I received this a few days ago, and I started a review at the time. However, in the middle of the review, I had a side here malfunction. It got down to the freezing point, froze the product, and then it quit sustaining the product. So it started to warm up, it got back up to 45 to 50 degrees. The side on the right was fine. I thought there was something physically, mechanically wrong with the machine. I reached out to the supplier. They were able to get in touch with the manufacturer, who got in touch directly with me and walked me through the settings. There's some settings in here that control, there's a computer on board that controls the function of this, and there was a setting that was incorrect from the factory. And once they walked me through and changing that setting, the machines worked flawless, and I've made 3 or 4 things since then. I've made some milkshakes out of it. It makes a really good milkshake. There's a milkshake recipe that's from Ninja on the Ninja soft serve or slushy machine that they make. If you use their recipe, it's a really good chocolate recipe. Anyway, today I'm going to do one here. It's just going to be just a lemonade slushy is what we're going to do. And we're going to document how long it takes from start. Okay, I'm going to measure the temperature of this so we can get a starting point. And the temperature of this mix looks like about 61 degrees. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and start the machine up. The bowls are backwards on this than what I think we would normally think. Since we read left to right, theirs is right to left. This is 1 and this is 2. I would think 1 and 2, but no, to me it's reversed. So, but we're going to make the product in this machine inside here. So we're going to fire this up, set it to slush. Okay, we've turned the machine on, and I've got this set to slush, so it's going to start cooling down. I made a mixture of lemonade using Country Times pink lemonade, and you have to measure what they call the bricks level or the sugar level. And if you don't have one of these, you probably should get one of these. It's a bricks meter. They're not very much. You can get them as cheap as $20 for a non-electronic one, but I bought the electronic one here, and it was, I think, $40 on Amazon. You just put a few drops in here, and you analyze it, and it tells you how much sugar content, how many bricks. It has to be at least 13 for this to work properly. So in order to get that mixture to 13, I had to double the amount of powder, which would normally, I believe, was around, I believe it was about a cup and a half, and I ended up putting about 3 cups in there before I got it up to almost 14. So that should be good to go. If it's below that, it could freeze too hard and damage the machine. But if you have too much sugar in it, you may have trouble getting it to freeze at all. So I believe they say that the range is 13 to 28 or 30% bricks. So this is right about 14. So we're gonna see what this does. And we're going to sit back and we're going to see how long it takes for this to start freezing up. It is 1:56 right now. So I guess we could go ahead and I'll set a timer. And we'll set a time. We'll set the stopwatch. Starting it here. Yesterday I made some chocolate ice cream, the actual recipe that's from Ninja for their machine, which involves cocoa, Hershey's chocolate, whole milk, and heavy cream, and a little bit of vanilla. And granted that the milk was already chilled down pretty cold, but it froze it in 12 minutes. I had almost soft serve coming out. It was thick, it was really good, it was rich. I couldn't ask for it any better. I really expected it to take a lot longer than 12 minutes. Since sometimes I think they say 20 to 30 minutes, allow 20 to 30 minutes to freeze. I'm finding this machine actually freezes a lot faster than that. I'm already starting to see a few little fragments of ice trying to float around in there. So it's chilling down pretty fast. Here's the current temperature of the solution, and right now it's at 57, 55. So it's dropping pretty fast. One of my decisions on choosing this machine was the fact that I could get parts for it. When I reached out to the supplier, for the manufacturer, one of the things I asked was, where do I go if I need to change this O-ring here? And I have already broken an O-ring. My fault, I wasn't paying real close attention, and it got pinched when I was putting this piece back up in here when I was cleaning it, and it ended up breaking it. But they did supply some spares. So this particular machine comes with 2 extra big gaskets for the back of the bowl, and then it came with some O-rings, and then here's a silicone type gasket that goes at the end of the auger inside, and it comes with this food grade lubricant, which is to me kind of like Vaseline, but it's food grade, and you just put a little bit on each of the seals when you clean it, and it makes it slide up on there easier, and it just makes the O-ring. Otherwise, you can't put this up in there. The O-rings will not slide up in there without putting some of this on there, and you end up tearing it up. So, but I contacted them, and when I contacted them, I asked them, I said, where do I go to get gaskets? If I decide to buy this machine, where do I go get the gaskets? I couldn't find any online, but having corresponded with them by email, they said that's not a problem, just reach out to them. They can supply me with gaskets, the silicone cups, O-rings, whatever I need, they can supply. So that was one of my decisions in picking this machine. There's a lot of machines out there that's on Amazon that people have purchased, and if you read the reviews, which I believe those reviews you can trust when they're bad reviews, because people get upset when they have a bad product. Was people had bought the other machines and they could not get any parts for it, and they either broke a seal, broke a gasket, and they can't find any compatible seal that will fit on it. And unfortunately, they have a boat anchor, for lack of better terms. Now they've got a $600,000 to $800,000 boat anchor that they can't use because they can't find parts for it. So before I spend, I think this machine was $729. I had to go back and look on my receipt. I think it was $729. And once I found out that I could get parts for it, that sold me on buying the machine. And the size. I didn't want one too big because there is a minimum of liquid that you have to put in here. And some of those big machines, they do 2 gallons, 3 gallons on each side, and there's a minimum. And if it's just 2, like myself and my girlfriend, If we want to make some stuff in the evening, we don't need to make that much. We just need to make a smaller amount. So this is 0.8 gallons on each side. And we found out that it's plenty for both of us. It'd probably be fine with us having a small gathering here, and it'd probably be fine for that. And when you're doing stuff like this, if you make your solution first, whatever mix you're going to use, whether it's going to be like a milkshake or it's going to be a slushy like this, if you mix it up ahead of time, some extra, and keep it in the refrigerator, keep it cold, you can just add to it as it's being used, and it freezes really fast. It doesn't take just a couple of minutes, and it gets back into the consistency that it was. So that's the way around that. But it's a nice form, nice size. It looks good. The machine, I'm a QA technician where I work at. That's my career. So I spend all day, every day, picking apart parts and components, measuring, checking them, even when it comes to durometer readings on the firmness of the seals that we use in our products. I go over that stuff with a fine-tooth comb, and if it doesn't meet our specifications, I reject it. That's the way I'm treating this machine. I'm trying to pick it apart. I don't have any specifications, but what I'm looking at here is vulnerabilities in the machine, possible failure points. I could not find at the time any reviews on this machine, so I thought I'm going to create the first review of this machine. I'm going to create an unbiased review. This will be my first review of anything, but I want to try to give my honest review of this on what I think and what I buy it again. I'm not compensated in any way for this review. It's something that I just decided I wanted to do, and hopefully it will help somebody else make an informed decision. The problem in the beginning with the software misprogramming that they had me correct, that was a little frustrating. I won't deny that, but they were real helpful in helping me figure it out, and it didn't take but a couple of minutes to figure it out. It was just the wrong setting from the manufacturer. The rest of the machine, everything is straight, and I'm real picky when it comes to things like that. I want things that aesthetically look right. I don't want anything crooked, anything bent, anything like that. You spend that kind of money on this machine, then you expect it to be right. You expect it to look good. It's going to sit in your home. You want it to look attractive. You don't want people looking at it thinking that looks like a piece of junk. So having said that, all the stainless steel is really smooth, wraps around nicely. It's even. The only things that I've noticed that I could think of a better way to do it was the way this latches on. I just think that they could have maybe made a little bit better seal on it. What this one is, it's just it does stay, but I just think that it could be a little bit better. I have seen one report where someone had said that the handle broke, and they said they couldn't find a part for it anywhere. Well, I specifically asked the supplier, could I order a handle? And they said, yeah, we have handles available for them. So I may actually, next month or so, I may order an extra handle. I may order some more seals and gaskets just to keep on hand, just in case. The drip trays here at the bottom, they work great, and you'll find out that especially on slushy machines, especially on slushy machines, and when if you're making a milkshake in it, it'll stay up in here a little bit after you dispense it into a cup. Sometimes it'll stay up there, and then as it melts a little bit, it'll drip into here. This thing's not very deep. It's about 1 inch deep. If I was to change it, and you had space down below here, I think if I was to design this, I think I would have made this about another 1 inch deeper, because I can see going, all day that it could fill this up. And these little things here are pretty thin. I think I would like to make them a little bit thicker than this, and maybe have like a little bit of a snapping point to where it'll hold. And there may be one there, but if it is, it doesn't hold real well. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like you're sitting your cup there on it all the time. But you get it in just right, you can kind of get it to sort of snap down in there. It's kind of snapped down in there. But I think I would have made that a little bit thicker, and I would have made this deeper to accommodate a little more, spillage. The controls can be confusing in the beginning. It did take a little bit of time to get used to. Every time you tap this button for this bowl over here, it changes to cooling, just if you want to put like, I guess Kool-Aid in there, you can set it just to cool. Or then you go to slush mode, which I believe is 28.2 degrees. And if you go, the next press will take it up to margarita mode. Margarita drops it down to about 22, I believe, degrees, 22.2. Since margarita has alcohol in it, then, or probably any product you're going to put in there that's going to have alcohol in it, you're going to want to put it on margarita mode because it takes a little extra freezing power to freeze something with alcohol. Too much alcohol it won't freeze at all. So we're down to 31.3 degrees. This is slushing up pretty good. It's not quite there to dispense, but I don't think we're far from it. And it's been almost 10 minutes. I would say that it's ahead of what they say it does, because I believe that they say 20 to 30 minutes, and we're at 10 minutes, and it's already slushing. In fact, I'll show you here. As you can see right there, it's slushing pretty good. Get a better shot of the front of this thing. It's a nice looking machine. I've been impressed with it. I was a little bit discouraged in the beginning, but they've come through and they've shown me how to fix it. And hopefully nobody else, if somebody else purchases this, maybe they'll see my video and maybe I can help them through it. Cleaning it, it does take a little bit of time to clean, especially if you've got a milkshake in it. You've got these screws here in the front. They just loosen, take these screws all the way out, and then this bowl comes off. But what you want to do beforehand, and I made the mistake the other night, I had a milkshake and I didn't do it. Once drain all of your excess out, drain it out, and then you're going to fill it up with water, let it slosh around, drain that out. Then undo this, pull the whole thing out evenly, don't tilt it back, pull it out evenly, and then go wash it off in the sink. And then you'll take the agitator off, the auger off, and take it off as well. Now the nut that's at the end of the auger, which is a plastic nut, but it's got a steel insert in it. It's not going to strip out. It's the opposite threads of what everybody's used to. You don't turn left to take it off. You turn right. Where normally it's lefty loosey, righty tighty. This is the opposite. And that's so that way as the thing turns, it doesn't accidentally come off while it's mixing stuff up or whatever. So you'll slide that auger off and you'll just take everything over there, sink, wash it out. This is easy. You take this pin out, slide it out, this handle comes off, and then you can stick your finger in here where this spring is, push down, and this whole white piece with the O-rings on it will come out. Once that comes out, then just rinse all that stuff off. And then you're going to take some of this lubricant here, put just like a pea size, not a whole lot. And then you're just going to, after you wipe all this off, clean it off, you're going to put it all around that white thing, around the O-rings and everything. Put it on pretty good. Take another little bit of amount, and I slip my finger up in there, and I smooth it around on the inside of that cylinder. And then you'll just slide this back up in there as it was. And you'll have to kind of push a little bit, but just kind of watch on this back side that it's not pinching that O-ring. Because if it pinches that O-ring and you push it, it's going to snap it like I've done already. And once you get it up in there, you just pop this handle back in, put the shaft through it, and you're good to go. Put everything back together. Oh, and when you're putting this back on, you'll see that big O-ring in the very back. You're going to want to put a little bit of, on the inside of this plastic thing, take some of that lubricant, put it on the inside where it slides over that gasket, and it will slide up over there a lot easier than what it is without it. And that's really all there is to cleaning it. Milkshake takes a little bit longer because milkshake you really need to make sure you get all that milk and dairy out of there because otherwise you don't want it to turn into bacteria or mold or anything like that. Well, it looks like this slushy is ready and it's been, say, almost 14 minutes. Okay, we're going to use a clear cup here so that way I can show you the thickness of this thing. I had to add a little bit more mix to it to get the sugar level up because it was getting a little bit too hard. And now you can kind of see the thickness of it. that's where we're at. So other things I wanted to point out to the machine was the tabs here. You take these screws off here to take the bowl off. The tabs here they're thick. They're about almost a 1/4 inch thick. They have like a gusset plate here. So it looks like that's going to be pretty strong. A lot of these that I've seen, when you put the bowl on, it has a plastic tab that hangs off the bottom, and you have to push the tank on, and then you push it down, and it locks. That tab is holding it against the seal. In my opinion, I may be wrong, but in my opinion on that, I can see that tab breaking off, and if that breaks off, it's not gonna have any way to hold that tank on. I saw that on some videos, and to me, I think that's a weak point. This one doesn't work like that. This one actually uses these screws to hold it up against that, and it's thick. It's reinforced on this side as well, and it's not just threaded into plastic. It actually has like a steel or brass insert in there, so it's threaded. So it looks like they were thinking when they would design that. I can't say as far as the electronics yet. I haven't had the unit long enough, but right now I've been really impressed. And if you were to ask me if I would buy another one, yeah, I'd buy another one. I think it's a perfect size for a household. And even probably for if you have a gathering, you have a few people come over, yeah, I think it's fine for that. And you should be able to keep up with demand. As fast as it freezes, and by keeping a little extra on hand in the refrigerator, I don't see any reason why this wouldn't function at a party. I have not tried alcohol in it. I may do another review doing a margarita or pina colada. I have put some margarita mix and pina colada mix in there. It was some that I had that was a little out of date, but I have put that in there. I didn't add alcohol to it though. That's the thing. I didn't add alcohol, but by itself it froze up just like this. It was beautiful. I know it'd be different once you put alcohol in it, but when you go to the margarita mode, change it from slush mode to margarita mode, that should compensate for it because it'll take it down to a lot lower temperature to where it should freeze. But anyway, there you go. Other than those couple of little points that I pointed out about having the manufacturer walk me through changing the settings, and all it was just a software setting. There was a setting in there, and I don't know what it was for. I'm guessing that it had something to do with the defrost limit. It was on number 36. They said it had to be on 41 for it to work right. I changed it to 41. It's worked flawless since then. So, which tells me that it wasn't a mechanical problem. It was just a software programming problem. So other than that, and I wish that these were a little deeper than what they were, and I wish that this metal here was a little thicker, a little more robust. This works fine. You know, I do wish that maybe it was a little bit better class, maybe a little bit better sealing around the side. I haven't had any issues with it coming out or anything. And if it does come out, if it runs down the side, or it's gonna condense here on the side and water run down, it has a catch basin underneath here with a drain that takes it right out into this area here. So if you had a lot come out, yeah, you might end up filling this thing up, and it might get a little messy at that point. Other than that, I'm impressed with it. It looks like it's made well. I have kind of peeked up inside there with a flashlight looking at the electronics and the board, and it's very professionally laid out. Wire looms around everything. It looks like all the wiring's protected well. I can't tell what brand of compressor. I don't know if it's an Breco compressor or not. I don't know. It doesn't state that. It's probably not. Usually if it has that, I think that they boast that it has that type of compressor in it, but hopefully it's a good compressor. So anyway, there you go for the review. I would give it 4 stars, maybe 4.5 stars. I wouldn't give it 5 because I think it's not perfect, but I wouldn't hesitate buying it again. I'll do another review, a follow-up review, in probably say 3 months. We'll come back and we'll do another review because I plan on using it quite a bit between that time frame, and we'll see if my feeling toward it still stays the same or if I've encountered any more problems. And that's my whole goal with doing these reviews. I want to give an unbiased review. I don't have a problem, even if the manufacturer sees this, I don't have a problem pointing out little things I think that they can improve on. If it's something that doesn't make any sense or stupid, I'm going to call it out and say, hey, this doesn't make sense. You didn't think this through. And I don't think like this for this machine at all. You know, this is good. It works good. It just, I can see if you ran this all day long, you might build up enough in here that you're going to have to drain it and pour it out. And then when you take it off, it's going to drip out of that hose until you pour it out and wash it out and stick it back on. So that could be a little messy. So I just think there's plenty of room here. I think they could have went down a little deeper, make it probably another inch deeper. They made it flush to the bottom of this, and there's really no reason for it to be flush unless they were just trying to make it aesthetically look right. But I still think that it would have been more beneficial to make it deeper than what it is. I believe the manufacturer says has a 1-year warranty on it. I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say about it. I don't know, but if you have any questions, comments or whatever, leave a comment on my page. But I'm going to do reviews for different products. I'm not strictly taking this type of product. It just, as I purchase things, I'm going to do a review on it. I'm not compensated for them in any way, and even if I was, I'm still going to be a straight shooter on it. I piss manufacturers off all the time where I work at when they send us something and I reject it because something doesn't look right or it doesn't fit right. I reject them all the time. It doesn't make them happy, but that's my job. My job is to point out flaws and problems with things that are not made to specification. And sure, it makes them upset with us, but that is what it is. Make a good product. If you have a good product, you won't hear from me. And if you do hear from me, it should be a good review. See how that comes out? Yeah, look how thick that is. Now that's thick. That may be actually getting a little bit too thick. Maybe not. I cannot tell the difference between this and a convenience store icing. That's really good. Country Time lemonade. Now I did have to put about 50% more mix than what I thought. I initially doubled it for what you would make a gallon for, because I made 2 quarts. So I initially put in the amount that you would for a gallon. And I don't believe the Brix level was high enough. I was right at that threshold, and I felt like that it was getting a little bit too hard and it was having trouble coming out. But then I added another cup full of the mix into a little bit of water, dissolved it, and then poured it in. And that seemed to solve the problem. So anyway, like I said, leave a comment below. If you like what you saw, if you don't like what I saw, okay, I'll try to do better next time. This is my first review. So hopefully it'll be a positive one. Hopefully it will help you in some way. Anyway, stay tuned.